The following video is intended for educational and documentational purposes only. All the information in this video has been sourced and/or cited. None of the information, trades, or stocks mentioned in this video are recommendations to trade. Option trading is extremely risky. Please consult a financial advisor before trading, and trades made from this video may result in financial losses. So do not trade anything shown in this video. Thank you. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, slumdog traders of all ages. We are back with another video. This time we're going to be breaking down what is TLT and why we are trading it. But before we begin, make sure you are subscribed and hit that like button down below in the video and hit that bell in the notifications to be notified of new videos. And with that, let's jump right into it. So, what is TLT? So TLT is basically a stock that is traded on the NASDAQ that follows the 20-year Treasury bond. Now, a Treasury bond is a fund that's controlled by the government and is basically used by the majority of the one percenters and anybody that has a lot of bread. And that's where they store their money and they basically get capital on. Insert crickets here. So, in short, TLT basically just follows TLT, the stock itself, just follows the interest rates that occurs with the 20-year Treasury bond. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what the hell does that have to do with the stock market? Well, Exhibit A. Let's take a look at this chart. So, the purple that I've been highlighting here is a indicator of the stock market. Is the SPY ETF. This is what I personally use to let me know how the market is reacting, how the market is digesting news. Basically, is what I use this for. And back a little back in March 9th, we had something called the China trade war. We had a pandemic occurring, and we also had the Fed for the first time in forever cut interest rates to 0.5%. When they did this, TLT went ridiculous. This is when things were popping for TLT, like oven fresh popping. So anytime that the Fed cuts interest rate or the market, as you see, the market was going down around this time, is in a negative standing or there's a lot of news that's really negative, TLT goes up. And it's basically these two stocks are the inverse of each other. So when one goes up, the other goes down. And that's pretty much it within a nutshell. Now, if we get some layman's terms here to break it down in Google's, what is TLT, Google's? Google said it's the NASDAQ symbol for the iShares 20-plus year Treasury ETF, ranked as one of the best government long bonds by sources such as the News and World Report. TLT invests about 90% in the underlying index and 95% in the U.S. government bonds. Now, what causes TLT to go up? If rates rise slowly enough, the extra yield can somewhat make up for the price decline. Where TLT really shines is during an equity crisis, where the flight to safe haven assets causes yields to fall quickly and TLT price to increase. This can help offset losses in equities. In other words, buy TLT if you want to protect yourself against any type of volatility when the market is going down. AKA, don't buy Hertz, don't buy ACB, don't buy no bullshit ass stocks. Okay, buy TLT. Not a recommendation, but you know what I mean. So, moving forward, the reason why I'm buying so much into TLT is just like we said. There's a lot, or just like the definition says, there's a lot of negative news that's occurring in the past. I don't know, 3 or 4 months, or more recently in the past month. We have civil unrest. We have increases of coronavirus cases in the South, the West, everywhere that hasn't really been hit, like New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, the tri-state area. They're getting hit hard now. And because of the fact that they reopened a little too prematurely, they're getting clapped. They're getting wrecked. They're getting hit hard. And they are basically experiencing the same thing that New Jerseyans experience, the same thing that New Yorkers experience, the same thing that Pennsylvania experience, except it's more, how can I put it, disorganized. And the market does not like disorganization. They think that, hey, everything's fine. You see New Jersey and New York, they're okay, da-da-da-da-da. Everybody's reopening. We need to reopen. We need to get our haircuts. We need to get our nails done. We need to do shopping and stuff. Yeah, well, guess what? They're going to stop that now. I guarantee you, in the next couple of months, not only are we not in the second wave, in my opinion, we're still in the first, but we're going to get hit with the second wave, and it's going to cause more lockdowns to occur. And I believe this is going to happen again. If that doesn't happen again, I'm pretty sure something damn near close is going to happen. Because what else is there? Let's see. We have the lack of stimulus in our economy right now. Like, I don't know about you, but I haven't got an extra paycheck for the next. We got $1,200, $1,200 to survive 4 months without working from the government. That's what our government thinks of us middle class to low income workers. That's what our how valued we are. $1,200. If you had a kid, we got multiple kids, that's $500 a piece. But still, $1,200. Not only that, college students, I mean, even though now there's a lot that, then again, you have to be in a know about it. You have to definitely know about it because it's not even broadcasted anywhere. College students receiving stimulus checks for a part of the CARES Act now, finally, thank God. They're basically being treated as long as you do a work study or something like that, being treated as though you were unemployed. And that's another thing. Unemployment. There's no way in hell you could tell me that this past employment report, we had a positive outlook for jobs. We had an increase in jobs. I mean, maybe online, but in retail, in, I don't know, the hospitality industry, they are hurting. And like all these people, all these entertainment, hospitality industries, they're all trying to rush to reopen because they're losing money. But at the same token, it's a double-edged sword. You're rushing to reopen without adhering to the guidelines that are set forth. And we are going back to square one, people. Just saying. But enough about that. Let's get back to the market. But no, in reality, it relates to the market. The stock market is an emotional, fickle mistress. It will react to the littlest of things. Like if there's more news pushing on, hey, we got a vaccine. Do you know how many new vaccines there have been in the past 2 months? Just take a guess. Just take a guess. I know it's rhetorical, and I know I can't hear your response, but just take a guess. Too many. That's how many. Way too many. Everybody and their mama swears that they have a vaccine. They have a new therapy. They have a new gene this, a new DNA that. No one knows what the hell to do. So that's why there's like such a big old gold rush now in the biotech industry. Because people are uncertain, so they're just throwing their money at like whatever company says that, hey, we got a vaccine over here, we got another one. And that's the scary part, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that there's so much uncertainty, the fact that our government is lacking the organization, the drive to actually truly do anything, to truly make the necessary moves and adhere to those said moves, this is where we're at. But at the same token, it's a silver lining. Because guess what? For people like us, we can jump into the market as long as we have the information available and capitalize. And capitalize and capitalize and capitalize. I don't know about you guys, but I'm playing TLT. I am playing TLT for a while. I'm probably going to be playing this for the rest of the year personally. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing is playing them with debit spreads. So I'm going to give you a little summary of what debit spreads are, but I'm not going to go into full detail. Just break it down on what and how I am doing it. So with TLT, because it's a stock that trades on the interest rates. Oh, by the way, if you go to the Treasury website, this is something that you can also see too. And if you want to keep track of TLT, go to the Department of Treasury website, go to the Data Chart Center, and it'll pull up this data. This is the Treasury yield curve. So remember I was talking about March 9th when they cut rates? Look at that. 0.87. Like damn near 0.5%. And that's for the 20-year. That's why TLT went back up. That's why it went so high. And then it slowly came back up. And then, boop, we drop a little bit again. Back. And that's what I'm waiting for. It's the same exact pattern to occur. Same exact pattern. So I would say if TLT breaks this 164 or 163 we're at, there's 163, and it goes into, I don't know, I think it's like 165, 166, I want to say. Then we can that's when shit's gonna get really real, and that's when I'm gonna probably look in for my next opportunity to jump in. But like, people are like, well, why don't you buy it now? Well, because TLT is not fickle, it's very slow. So it's a slow mover. So unless the Fed or somebody says, hey, we're going to be cutting interest rates like tomorrow, this is not going to move that quickly. It's going to slowly move up, or it's going to slowly move down, unless there's some big, ridiculous, dramatic news that changes that. And I don't expect that within the next 2 weeks. If anything, actually, maybe tomorrow, to be honest with you, now that I'm thinking about it. I completely forgot about the bank stress test tomorrow. And tomorrow being June 25th. Every year, the Fed conducts a stress test on the banks. And this basically determines if, hey, are you guys really good with your money? Are you guys actually paying out your dividends? Are you holding out on funds? Or are you really just lying altogether? So that report tomorrow, that's going to be something. So that's also going to be something that might be driving the market either up or down drastically. So we shall see. But let me get back to showing you guys what a debit spread is. Now, if you know me, which some of you do, I like to buy contracts with time. TLT, you need to buy contracts with time. Now, these are ridiculously, as you can see, the strike prices are nowhere near that. And I don't really anticipate them reaching that level, but I do anticipate them getting them damn near close. Now, let's say the debit spreads, the reason why I'm doing debit spreads is for that reason. If I were to just do these naked calls, or that's what they call them, naked, when they're not protected by anything, then I am basically exposing myself to more risk. Whereas with a debit spread, I am using another contract to protect me. So in this case, I bought a TLT $240 strike call, expires January 2021, for 53 cents. But I'm selling one with a further strike price at 39 cents. So they offset. I get the difference between these two. So if this one goes higher than this one, I'm profiting. So that's why with debit spreads, I personally believe it's better to have more quantity of spreads than it is quality, if that makes sense. When I say quality, meaning like I don't, as opposed to getting a naked or just one call. Like if I just bought this by themselves without protection, even though I'll be more exposed, but I'll be exposed to more risk, but I'll also be exposed to more rewards. Whereas with a debit spread, you're reducing your risk. You're reducing your risk and rewards. So that's why it's good to increase the amount of spreads that you have to increase the amount of rewards, even though you're still kind of taking a little bit more risk, if that makes sense. But I personally bought them for November, December, and January, and I might be looking at October. I'm not quite sure, depending on what happens tomorrow. But if so, let's take a look at what October looks like right now. Let's take a gander. And when I mean tomorrow, I mean June 25th. Let's go to October's. So let's see. As you can see, these are kind of pricey. Then I don't know. This is looking kind of good. So when I say pricey, like anything, this is kind of up there. Let's see what the last price was. Where's the last? Oh, that's not here. I forgot that's not on the mobile. Anyway, So what I was looking for was basically you can see the last price that was sold, that somebody bought it for, if someone sold it for, and usually it's listed as last. But you can see all I can see is the mark, which is like the middle. Really don't pay attention to that, but you can tell by the bid and the ask. That's the price in between. This is the price in between this. So this means the bid is what people are buying it or putting their orders for, and this is what people that are trying to sell it are asking for it. So you can make the determination. I generally try to do it above or below this number. I never try. Don't ever try to get it at this price or at this price ever, because you're basically selling yourself short. All right, now to do the spread, you want to make sure on Robinhood, and you can do this on mobile too. It just looks a little bit different. You want on mobile, you want a long press, but in this case, we're going to hit the plus sign, and then we're going to switch to sell. Now I'm going to choose the sell one. I usually try to sell some that are between $10 to $20 in price difference, or strike price difference. Only because if I do it too wide, it makes no sense. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm doing a wide debit spread that I'm taking more risk on when I could just buy one contract. It wouldn't make no sense to hedge it like that. So this one, we pick the sell. So I would pay 18 cents for this particular spread between 200 and 215, which isn't bad. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm actually considering buying this one. Maybe I will keep tabs on this one later. But yes, that is what a debit spread is in a nutshell. And essentially, this is pretty much what I'm going to be following, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hoping that you learn something from this and make your own determination of whether or not you want to follow suit. But if you do, like I said earlier, the market is filled with opportunity. If it's not TLT, it's going to be another stock. It's always going to be another stock. But as I always said, stay within your budget, be smart, do the research, and if you need help, just ask. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I've hoped you learned something from this. And as always, stay blessed. Peace out. Much love.